So hello, Harbin. How are you?
Hello, buenos dias.
Oh,
Very
very
good.
good.
Namaste. Wonderful to connect to all of you. You're doing amazing work.
Yes, and we are such a pleasure to have this conversation with you in inspiring talks for the web. So, there in Latin America we have 1,006 and 700 hundred attendees from 30 countries, and the impact that has historically had this Women Economic Forum in the world. So, as the global web, as a representative of the global web, we want to know how do you perceive this with in Latin America now?
First of all, I want to thank you, my dear sister. I remember you as a very warm, affectionate, caring host for me and Vinay in when we had the WEF Latin America, and my utmost gratitude to my dear soul sister Nadia Sanchez,
Yeah.
who, with her amazing, awesome team of soul sisters and soul brothers, organized a stupendous, successful, beautiful WEF LATAM. I have such fond recollection of those times in Cartagena,
Yes.
and we were looking forward to this year, but there are some changes. So I'm so glad you're keeping up the spirit, keeping up the
Yes.
energy, and continuing your work and having a lot of inspiring talks. I saw some of the WEF inspiring talks that you did with some women leaders. Bravo, keep going. It's very inspiring to see all that energy, especially at this time. We need it all.
Why the global web and its objective? Why?
Well,
What's the main
if there
purpose?
wasn't, yes, if there wasn't the global web, I wouldn't meet global sisters like yourself, like Nadia, from all over the world, and we wouldn't be the sisters beyond borders as we are today. So indeed, the very intention from the very first edition of the Women Economic Forum held in Goa in the year 2015, when we were about 400 women from 25 countries, it has grown and galloped and gone from continent to continent, from culture to culture, country to country. And it was all made possible because we committed to gathering amazing, inspiring sisters who lead from the heart all over the world and find our strength in our unity, in our exchange, and also find economic exchange and innovation and business beyond borders through Sisters Beyond Borders.
Awesome. Also, this is very the base and the ground of the web is working about gender, right? Like reducing
That's
gender
right.
in the world.
That's right. It's all about empowerment, actually,
Empowerment.
empowerment of everyone through the agency of women's leadership, because it's a win-win for everybody. Because we are working towards giving that feeling to every woman. Yes, I can. And when she has the feeling, she is a nurturing spirit. So she thinks of everybody around her, in her family, in her relationships, in her community, in her society, in her nation, in the world. And it's a better world because of empowered women. Everybody gets empowered because of
Yeah.
an empowered woman.
So it has a utterly objective, a superior
Yes.
objective. Our next question will be like the Web Latin American has been a giant edition, right? And as I said before, we had three different countries, presidents, relevant leaderships from all over the world there. And how did you perceive Colombia as a host?
It was beautiful. It was my first time in Colombia, and not just in Colombia, in Cartagena. It was just as I said, it was a beautiful experience that has stayed in my heart ever since, and I'm longing to come back. So I think that says something about the great hosts that
Yeah,
all of you were. As a people, we are so similar in India and in your country, in Colombia. And also when I traveled in other countries in Latin America, I perceived that same warmth and family-oriented, relationship-based culture. Uh, it was really so, it put my faith back in humanity, actually, to see and feel and experience all that warmth. We do experience that in India, but sometimes in India we think we are alone. Maybe we do it, just we are very emotion centered people. Maybe we are the only ones. But no,
Yeah.
actually, the traveling the world and meeting amazing people has opened my mind and heart to the fact that there are just so many beautiful people and so many open hearts all over the world. Recently, when we went to Egypt, again, it's a discovery, the hospitality, the beauty of the hearts of the people. And same way in Latin America. It's you lead from the heart, so you are the leaders of the future.
Awesome, perfect. I'm really glad that you perceive how is my country. Indeed,
Yeah.
you have
Am I
described
right?
it perfectly. Yes, you have described it perfectly. We are very joyful all the time. You know, despite
I must tell you, a good outcome of my interaction with so many beautiful people in Latin America. I signed up for an online course and I started learning a bit of Spanish.
Oh, how good! So we went beyond, actually.
Yeah, don't test me right now because I'll get really nervous. But I can just call you mi hermana simpática.
Ah, that's a great improvement.
Thank you.
Very good, very good. I'm sure that when we finish all the situation that is actually kind of weird with this pandemic outbreak, I'm sure that you are able to come back to my country, and hopefully you will give us a speech in Spanish, perhaps, maybe.
Oh my God! Oh my God! That's a tall order. It's a fact that last time I came, I did promise. I did promise to everybody, but I kept a little exit point for myself. I didn't say how many minutes I will speak. So maybe I'll give like a 1 minute speech in Spanish.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. Don't worry, don't worry. It's not a pressure. We have
No,
lots
of
of time.
course not. With pleasure, no pressure, only pleasure.
Exactly, exactly. Only pleasure. Okay, my next question will be what are the keys to female leadership in the post-COVID situation? What will you say to those women?
I think always the key to women's leadership, what triggers our heart, is what is important to us. So I think in these times when care, nurturing, and positivity is required ever more to be able to cut through the chaos and find a new normal and a new way of doing things, it's a great opportunity for women leaders to express their way, their unique way, their purposeful way, and whatever comes from their heart. Because the world right now is ready to listen. The world right now is open for new ways of doing things. And it's created a great receptivity for different kinds of leadership to emerge. And I think it is in a way a very challenging time, but like they say, the silver lining of the challenge is the opportunity. And the opportunity over here is that there is an openness, there is a requirement, there is a need in society for alternative ways to lead to emerge. And this is absolutely a ripe opening for women to step up and step forward and share and show whatever they have to share.
Very good message, indeed. Um, what do you think it is like the legacy or the impact that the Latin American web has in the world?
I think we are all sowing seeds right now,
Mhm.
because if you see in the journey of women empowerment, it's
Yeah.
been going on for hundreds of years, right?
Mhm.
And so we are where we are because of the legacy of those unknown, unsung heroines who walked the path before us, who dared the path
Yes.
before us, and set this stage for us. So I think we are reaping the benefits of their struggles and their legacies, and whatever fruits of 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 their work that they did. And with that, we are sowing new seeds. Right now, we are simply sowing seeds and nurturing those seeds. And the legacy, time will tell. We can only do our task with
Yeah.
sincerity, with passion, with a sense of purpose, and with a sense of continuity. We are continuing the work, and the work will continue even after us. And it's important that when we have this time to do our bit, we give it our best. That's all.
Very good. And what do you think women can do to reactivate like those empowerment and leadership and towards a sustainable economy now in this, pandemic outbreak in the middle?
I think women already have it in them.
Mhm.
We are the fulcrum of the family. We are, frankly, we whatever cohesion you see in society is still remaining today. You see a lot of divisiveness also happening, but whatever
Yeah.
cohesion you see is because women are still expressing their values of the heart. And there shouldn't be or is no difference between how we lead at home, how we lead in our closest, most intimate relationships, and how we would lead outside. And it is again whatever we've seen from our experiences meeting wonderful sisters from all over the world. It's simply a continuity. We lead in the same way with cohesive values, nurturing values at home, at work, wherever you see women leaders. The pandemic has shown us how women's leadership is dealing with the situation
Yeah.
decisively and differently, inclusively, taking everything and everyone into account. It's not always easy, but women try. Women try to bring in harmony. They try to listen, and I think having that kind of listening leadership, which is responsive, which is accessible, which is available, is the need of the hour. And women have done that before, but now is the time to actually make it more relevant because it is also the need of the times.
Yes, indeed. And what do you think are like the key skills or assets that we as a women need to potentialize, during these special times? Because, for example, we have seen that all over the world, domestic violence has risen, and several challenges that are like very difficult to handle in this situation that is very special situation, I think, for the whole world and the governments and everyone. What do you think are like the key skills that we need to improve or to develop and to try to grow in ourselves, like to nurture, like you say, to get even better and overcome resilience in this pandemic situation?
I think we need to just communicate more. We have the advantage of digital technology, which has come up in these times, which we were using before, but not using it in the way that we are now using it in a far more as a vital tool to communicate. Here I am talking to you. We are talking to all our chapters using
Yeah.
digital technology, and because of which we are communicating more, because of which we are connecting more, and because of which we are co-creating more. So I think we should embrace the digital technologies, the digital space, the digital platforms
Mhm.
much more, and communicate and reach out, because what we need right now is unity, is our sororidad, is our sisterhood.
Yes.
And we need that. And let us use this digital technology. Let us reach out to more and more women's networks, and uh, feel part of a greater family of soul sisters, or a greater, feel a sense of belonging and not feel alone. It is very important at this time to because there are sort of depressive and recessionary tendencies around us. It is
Yes.
ever more important to keep up our energy, and give ourselves a routine. Women always have a routine, by the way. They're always doing something.
We are
Somebody
experts on
said very
creating
wisely,
one.
it was very funny. We're talking about working women and non-working women, and somebody said, but there's a woman is always working. There's
Yes.
nothing called a non-working woman. A woman is always working. So I'm sure all women out there have a greater routine with all the greater responsibilities, like you said, that have come in the house with the homeschooling, with work from home, with everybody at home. So taking care of everybody more
Yeah.
and more for more greater number of hours. So a lot is happening, but I think we need to take time for ourselves and use this technology for ourselves to communicate to our a tribe of soul sisters and feel connected, feel that, and go out and reach out and collaborate and find innovative co-creations and keep inspiring our creative energy. And we have also launched, as you know, the digital platform, e-commerce platform for women entrepreneurs from all over the world in goods and services, which is the sheeconomy.in platform. And we are going to launch it soon. So think about, what are you going to put up as your shop on sheeconomy.com, and get ready for commerce with the world.
Well,
Conscious
actually,
commerce.
I'm kind of surprised, and I received this with emotion, because actually in Nadia, our director in She's Foundation, is also launching she online. She is online. That is our
Yes,
e-commerce
yes, yes.
marketplace.
We had a discussion
Colombia.
about that when we were in Cartagena, and in fact, we suggested to her that since
Yeah.
everything is going online, she must go online as well. And we figured out the name together, and she's launching it. And it's amazing that we discussed it that time, and indeed,
And now it's
more and more
materialized.
women
Yeah.
should be going online and should be reclaiming the digital space. We talk about reclaiming the public space, that it's a man's world and women are not present in the public space, but the digital space is ours to take. And go ahead and reclaim the digital space.
Yeah, of course. There's enough for everyone in the world, right?
Absolutely,
To keep working and give every entrepreneur a space to co-create and to get into new markets. So it's kind of cool what we are doing, actually. And I want to ask you one. Well, this is not my last question. But what will be like your message to the local web for Latin America and the social economic reactivation of women?
I think you guys are doing amazing work. You don't need my guidance. I learn from all of you. I see the amazing work that you all do. And I humbly and simply learn with utmost gratitude for your efforts, and really feel very, very humbled, honored, and empowered with all that you all are doing. So more power to you. You know it. You know everything. You know your job. You know what to do. And more importantly, you have the heart to include every woman and have that, continue with that spirit with which we started. I used to always say, the spirit before the size. So it's not important how big we become, but it's very important how much heart we put into whatever size of the event it is. So whether it's a small event or a big event, whether it's 100 people or 1700 people, important part is, are we putting in that flame and radiance and light of sisterhood and love and community spirit in all that we are doing? And in all of that, we honor your work, and the way you're all doing it so beautifully with the heart. I think, to me, that is the most important part. To me, the success of an event is not having the big names. Of course, it is very important to have the big names. We moved the whole annual event to Egypt because we got a big support and a big name and the AGs of the president. Of course, it's all very important. It's a validation. We are honored with the support. But at the same time, we just cannot forget the raison d'etre, the reason why we came into existence, the reason why we were born. And that was to connect the women of the world in sisterhood. That was to create a worldwide web of women of wisdom and energy and empowerment and action. And that cannot be done without that community spirit, without that feeling of trust and connectedness and sisterhood. And just that vibe of celebrating womanhood. And that is very, very important. So we don't want to become just big and fancy without the spirit.
Yes, of
So
course.
big and fancy is very important. We are very proud of it. We are very happy about it. But that spark, the smile, that should never go away.
Well, you have said something that it makes an echo in my mind, and it gets me to something that I've read somewhere about actually your culture, Indian culture, that explains something about putting your heart, your head, and your hand all over when you do something. So
Yes.
it's like I have the feeling like the Latin American web and the global web in general has an essence of a clarity of vision, putting the purpose of the heart in everything we do, and the hands for the service to everyone.
Yes.
So in this moment of pandemic, which we don't know what is going to happen, there's a lot of let's say illusion of a new reality, because we don't know how it's going to be the new reality. We need to protect ourselves, and protect ourselves is actually to put distance from other people, which is not a very empathic in some way. It's very difficult to handle for some people, but I think what you say is very important for women to actually co-create a new reality in the middle of this whole weird and strange situation. So what do you think is the biggest learning curve during the pandemic times, and what is your vision of what is going to be to the new normal that we are going to get now?
Thank you for sharing that pearl of Indian wisdom, that the head and the heart and the hands need to be all aligned for
Yes.
our truth to emerge and flow out from us.
Mm-hmm.
And you are so right. This pandemic has put us all in a spot in different
Yeah.
ways. And everybody is having their own personal learning from it.
Yeah.
And it's not important how things outside of us change, because the important part is how things inside of each one of us
Okay.
is changing.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever is changing inside of me is already my new reality, irrespective of what happens outside. And with my new reality, I will step into the world with that new vibration, with that new reality, with those new eyes, with that new light of awareness inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be a better person because of that. And because of that, the world will get a bit of my betterness as well. Same
Yeah,
with you, right? You
exactly.
you already have a new awareness around you, right, Tatiana?
Mm-hmm.
you
Exactly.
you have experienced as well this pandemic in a very personal way,
Yeah.
and you have stepped into a new level of awareness, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Of
And
course.
now when
Yeah.
you walk out, you're a different person, and you are stepping out into the outer world with that new vibration that you have,
Yeah.
and the world is receiving your vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So many times we feel that the reality happens to us, but
Yeah.
we happen to reality. Reality is waiting for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's
asking us the same question. What do you want? What do you guys want?
so yeah. The
So
challenge
my
will be
vision
not get
is
confused, not lose the focus of what we are doing, and what we want to actually create in this new reality of each of us working in
yes,
the world. So
yes.
this has been a very very nice conversation. I would like to add that what you say is like, well, what I described just a few minutes ago was like the Dharma, right? In
Yes,
Indian
yes.
culture, to
What
align.
you described was expressing our truth, being the
Exactly.
same person inside and outside. Yeah,
Yes, exactly. So I'm
yeah.
I'm very pleased to share this with women in Colombia, because now that we are locked in our houses, we still have the digital space, and despite all the situations, the adverse situation that we might have, we can have access to this and to
Yes,
listen kind of these learnings and messages from all over the world in different languages, and to actually use it for the purpose of our own lives, and to get this self-awareness into another level. And definitely the world that we are going to create tomorrow, 5th of June, is going to be completely different to the one that is today, the 4th of June, than what we are actually working in ourselves. And so it's a great message what we are doing here, and with the WEF and the sparring talks, I'm very, very sure that we still working purposely about what we meant to do in 3 days of events in Cartagena. So we haven't lost our objective and purpose in
That's it. That is the
this
most important
situation.
part.
Yes, that's the most important part. And one last message that you would like to share with the Colombian women.
Yeah, I will just take on from what you just mentioned, Tatiana, that a lot of people are feeling and disturbed that, and for us also at the WEF events, how much the face-to-face interpersonal connection in person is so important. And like you said, we feel that we have to distance ourselves from people, and we're losing are we losing empathy? It's so funny. If somebody would sneeze, we would earlier say, God bless you. And now if somebody sneezes, like everybody's so scared for themselves.
Yes.
There is a little distance being created between people, but I know it will normalize, because the panic has pushed people into a certain extreme, and things will settle, and we'll all find our own relationship and balance with this situation.
Yeah.
And we'll all sort of come back. I have complete faith in the beauty of humanity. But just what you said, I want to give you a saying from Indian wisdom again, or culture again, and it's a beautiful saying which says, nearness is not dearness, and dearness is not nearness. So Tatiana is very dear to me, but she's not near to me. I'm sitting in India and she's sitting in Spain.
Yeah.
And we have a distance of a few, countries and oceans, between us. But that does not come in the way of our dearness, right? So, but I could be very near to you. We could be in the same house, but we may not have any connection of empathy or care at all. Mm-hmm. So to understand that this opportunity is also to understand that nearness is not dearness, and dearness is not nearness, and we can find dearness wherever, across distances, miles across, wherever our sisters and brothers might be. So I just wanted to share that message because you brought it up, and it's an important point. So I wanted to put a bit of Indian enlightenment onto it.
Well, thank you very much for your time, for sharing all this moment and this conversation, very enriching conversation with us. And we hope to see you in person soon in a different situation. But very, very thank you. I'm really happy to see you again. It has been a year already, right?
Yes. Year. And you look ever more beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. And you haven't changed.
Thank you.
That is the happiness what keeps you like this.
Yes, so, yes.
Thank you, Harbin, for your time.